Let's switch our attention to overseas. It was less than a week ago, you may recall, the president of Egypt, President Morsi, was hailed as a hero for helping to broker that ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Well, days later, he surprised just about everybody by awarding himself sweeping new powers back home in Egypt. That triggered a wave of violence in the streets. It brought crowds and protesters back to the familiar confines of Tahrir Square. Tonight, the president of Egypt is embarking on a campaign of damage control. Our report from NBC's Ayman Mohideen in Cairo.
A day of mourning across Egypt. In Cairo, thousands paid respects to a protester killed by police. And in Alexandria, a funeral for a member of the Muslim Brotherhood, just 15 years old. Both were victims of the violence that erupted following President Morsi's decree last week, giving himself sweeping new powers. It ignited a wave of protests with angry Morsi opponents and loyal supporters fighting in the streets. The Muslim Brotherhood are to blame. We elected them and we thought they would lift us up. But unfortunately, they threw us to the ground. I will never vote for them again in my life, this woman tells me. Many believe Morsi overreached, and he moved quickly to contain the damage, meeting tonight with Egypt's Judicial Council and claiming he would limit the scope of his new powers. Morsi supporters say he had to act to rein in Egypt's powerful judges.
Every time we approached the shore of an unstable transition, someone would sink the boat. That someone, up till thus far, has been the Constitutional Court of Egypt, a Mubarak-appointed, led and politically managed court.
Egypt's judges have been accused of stalling the transition to democracy and failing to convict any former officials charged with corruption or killing protesters. But in the streets, people say Morsi's power grab betrays their hopes for democracy, returning the country to dictatorship, something the protesters in Tahrir Square vow they would never let happen again. Despite the tensions on the streets, there is optimism in the air. But behind me in Tahrir Square, tents have been set up ahead of a 1 million-man march that is being called for on Tuesday. And yet, despite that, the Muslim Brotherhood has called off their rival protests precisely to avoid any possible confrontation or clashes on the streets of Cairo. Brian?
Ayman Mohideen in Cairo for us tonight. Ayman, thanks.